What is going on, guys? It is Jonathan again with the Weekly Scuffle, and I'm here to talk about Devin Haney, the winner, 30-0, undisputed champ of 135, and just to talk about what I think of the fight versus Loma and what I think is next for Devin Haney's career. And honestly, I think the fight with Loma, great fight. I think Devin won that fight very obviously to me. Well, not obvious, of course, tough decision, tough fight, very close all throughout. But I do think the 115, 113 scorecards were right. And I think Devin got the right decision on two of the scorecards. One scorecard was a little skewed, which that's fine. Who cares? But I think because of that, a lot of people are now saying Loma got robbed, Loma got robbed. I'm pretty sure if, let's say, that one guy that didn't have it lopsided towards Haney, if he had it, let's say, to Loma and Devin won split decision, you wouldn't really hear all this controversy around, oh, Loma got robbed, Loma got robbed. I think it was a tough fight throughout. I think Devin did what he needed to do to defend his belts. And honestly, I think Devin is kind of entering his Floyd Money Mayweather era where, he got booed in Las Vegas, his hometown, to Loma, someone that isn't even from the US, from Ukraine. And honestly, I think that speaks volumes to Devin and the potential he has to where he could take his career. Honestly, he's already got potentially a Hall of Fame legacy with 30 fights at just 24 years old. And I think there's two fights that could, one, make him an enormous pay-per-view draw going forward, and two, basically put him in Hall of Fame contention almost by the end of next year, if I'm being honest, if these two fights do come to fruition, which I think they most definitely can. And those two fights being Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis. I think next, if I'm being honest, how I would like Devin to take his career, you take the Shakur fight. One, because I think Shakur is a better matchup because he doesn't possess the power that Tank does. And sadly for Shakur, in order to prove himself, he had to fight a lot of people at 130, and he just didn't really have that much power at 130. He came to 135. He knocked out his last opponent, but his last opponent wasn't really that much of an accomplishment, if I'm being honest. And on the other hand, you got Devin, who's a year younger than him, as odd as that sounds, but he by far has the best resume out of these three guys, in my opinion, specifically because he beat Loma. And while all of these guys are top quality fighters, I think if Devin fights Shakur next, another southpaw, and then he fights Gervonta, I think he has a great chance to beat all of them because I expect him to progress after the Loma fight. He's going to learn a lot from that fight. And then you fight Shakur, and then you fight Tank. It's almost built in a way that Devin could get used to fighting great southpaws and could probably beat all three guys in a row, if you ask me. And I think all these fights are very good pay-per-view fights, very big pay-per-view fights, and it will make Devin an absolute superstar, especially with the hate he's already somewhat receiving. He could be that new Floyd Mayweather where people watch him in order to watch him lose because he doesn't have that knockout power. People don't necessarily like watching him fight. Well, I think he's a great fighter, and I think these two fights could definitely be made. Do they happen? I don't know because I could definitely see moving up to 140. But as far as Devin is concerned, if I were managing his career and I wanted to be an all-time great and make the most money possible, Shakur is next, Tank will follow, and that's how I see it. With that being said, we'll see how all this plays out, and see you next time. Peace.